Alright, we're going to talk about circles and arcs today. So I got a circle there. And let's draw on some different lines here. So if I have a diameter, goes all the way through the center, touches both sides. I can have a radius. And let's say this angle right in here is 39 degrees. Well, if I label this A, B, C, D, angle D is going to equal arc AB. Just like when we talked about angles projecting to sides of a triangle, well, angles project to sides of a circle as well. So if angle D is 39, then arc AB is also 39. If you wanted to know arc BCA, you would take the 360, because there's 360 degrees in a circle, and subtract that 39. So the measure of MCA, arc MCA, would equal 360 minus 39, so that would be 330, 321. So just use what you know. If you wanted to find arc CB, well, that CA is half the circle, so that'd be 180. So that'd be 180 minus the 39. So CB would equal 141. Alright, so if we have a circle with two diameters, we'll just call it ABCD again. And you know one of these angles, let's say this is 70 degrees. So AB would equal 70 degrees. Well, if you look at AB and DC, those are vertical angles. So that means DC also has to be 70 degrees. For BC, AC would be a line, so BC minus AB would equal BC. So that would be 180 minus the 70, so BC would equal 110, and because BC and AD are vertical angles, AD would also equal 110. Alright, so let's talk about the circumference of a circle. So circumference equals the standard formula you're given is pi times diameter, or circumference equals 2 pi r. Those are the ones you've been given since, middle school math. So if we rewrite these formulas, pi equals the circumference divided by the diameter. That's how we get pi. That's how it was originally discovered, is dividing the circumference of a circle by the diameter. Or pi would equal circumference divided by 2r. So what this means is, if you have a diameter of a circle, we've been working with degrees, so that would be 180 degrees. If we said AB, arc AB would equal 180 degrees. Well, if we wanted to look at that in terms of pi, a whole circle would be pi, because it's the circumference divided by the diameter. So AB, if we want to write it in terms of pi, would just equal pi. So if I draw in another line here, let's say this line here, and let's say this is 12 feet for the diameter, and so that means our radius here is 6 feet, and let's say this is, 75 degrees. We want to find the length of that arc. We just put that into the formula there. So our circumference here, or our arc really, so let's call this D, so arc DB If we just wanted degrees, it's 75. But if we want the length of it, we're going to do 75 over 360 times our 2 pi r. Because we don't want the whole circle, we just want part of it, which is the 75 over 360. And our r there is 6. So we can replace that r with the 6. So that would be 75 over 360 times 2 times 6 times pi. And I'm separating it out for a reason. Let me get a little more room here. So 2 times 6 is 12. 75 over 360 times 12 times pi. So I'm going to do 75 over 360 times 12. And I'm going to get 5 over 2. So dB would equal 5 halves 2. If you wanted to make that a mixed number, you could do 2.5 pi, or a decimal would be 2 5/10 pi. Any of those I'll accept as your answer. But just know that I'm not asking you to actually multiply by pi in this case. I just want you to be able to find the arc length. If you really wanted to find an estimate there, you just times it by 3 1400ths and you'd get about 7 8500ths feet. But for most of this, you're just going to leave it in terms of pi, which is what we talked about when we were doing degrees and radians. That's where this comes into play. When you're working with pi, you're going to be working in radians. Alright, so let's do one more of those, and let's say we want to find the length of arc ABC. So that's going to be, there's 360 degrees in a triangle or in a circle. So we're going to take that 360 minus the 25 to get 335 degrees is what we're trying to find, because we're trying to find arc ABC, which is all the way around to there, over 360 times 2. I won't use 2 pi r because I know the diameter. So that would just be diameter times pi. And our diameter there is 24. So really all I have to do is 335 over 360 times 24. Let me work that out. So 335 over 360 times 24. It's going to be, I'll make this a mixed number. So that would be 22 1/3 pi. Would be the length of ABC. And that's inches because we're working in inches.